Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today I want to show you some hilarious city rallies that happened toward the end of our fighting in Kingsland. And yes, we did lose Kingsland to the big Imperium 1875 and their allies. And I mean, look, we've defeated a lot of Imperium kingdoms considering that we're an A kingdom in 2293. However, there's no doubt about it that 1875 is a big fat Imperium. And I definitely look forward to their queuing against other big fat Imperiums as opposed to A's. So good luck to them in their future matches. They got us in Kingsland, and we're definitely going to, I assume we're going to, give them some resistance as they try to push into some of the other zones and claim all of the rewards for the end of KVK. But we're not really here to talk about that. We're here to talk about these city rallies, which went on for a while, and this funny thing sort of happens when you assume you've won KVK. Whether you're right or wrong about that assumption is a different matter, but once you think you've won KVK, people run these city rallies that make no sense whatsoever, which makes for really good content. And rallying Mori, who is wearing the king title right now, is one of those things that makes no sense. It makes no sense because we can reinforce him, and it makes no sense because he's got some of the best garrisons in the kingdom. So in this case, you're watching Yanziska Hera defending against Sargon, and it's got to be Tariq ibn Ziyad as the secondary. Yes, it is. Now, at this point, 1875 is probably just trying to get rid of their troops, because I don't know how they're going to lose enough troops to leave Imperium, which is one of the reasons why I don't think big Imperiums should really queue for Nile KVK. You get a really fun fight, in fact, many really fun fights, and the healing cost is typically way lower than your regular KVK, because by the time you have your biggest fight of all, at that point you've had many zones to sort of tech up. That's the way that this KVK works, and it's one of the things I sort of like about it for my restart account, right? So they're rallying Mori City. I think it was like 80 or 90 million power at the start of it, but I was in voice and I was like, hey, look, we freaking stuffed Mori City full of troops, all right? He's got 3 million cap for reinforcements. Fill it up, man. Because we also want to lose some troops, and this is a really great way to send siege to their untimely demise, assuming you're not making a ranged march. And Lord knows, I've made one on my farm account, but I don't plan to make one on my main account. Now, they're going to try to bring Mori all the way to a burn here, and they might actually get the burn. Here comes the swarm. Okay, here it is. By the way, there were a ton of rallies that happened before this, and I'll show you the reports toward the end of the video. And I didn't even record them, but I was reinforcing for those battles. So I'll give you that in just a minute here. But if you're enjoying this video so far, do me a huge favor and throw a like on here and subscribe to the channel. I'm also going to show you more footage of wardaddy Chad getting rallied, which happened in the intro in the video. And I took a moment to sort of highlight the silliness, the comedy of people getting hit by area of effect damage from Hera. And it's not that much area of effect damage, but it's still coming from a city, and it's 100% dead troops, which definitely hurts. Here they get the burn. You can see Mori was pretty heavily reinforced. Somebody goes for the reswarm, and that's gotta hurt a lot. I don't think Mori gets many dead troops at all, if any, but we'll have the report in just a second to be able to show that to you. I joined a lot of reports where pretty much the only deads were, oh god, that animation from Jan Ziska is pretty funny. Yeah, 157,000 dead to 1.8 million dead. Dude, do I need glasses? Oh my god. Well, yeah, 1.8 million dead troops. Holy. A lot of Sev wounds for our side, but you know, Sev wounds that's like a rounding error for one open field fight, that number of Sev wounds, okay, when you consider the number of people that are involved. And it's just a lot of damage. Area of effect damage, damage on the rally is also relevant. And defending a city has got to be just one of the most advantaged situations in the game if your garrison captain is actually decked out. And as I was saying earlier, Mori is decked out. It's pretty much fully crit, fully iconic gear. Even the accessories might be crit iconic. I don't know if he's got them for calves. I know he has them for infantry. He's got a vengeance and a greatest glory crit. Let me tell you, you swarm that hurts, man. That is a lot of counterattack. Now we can make our way, by the way, to a few more rallies. Here is Chadski. No, this is somebody else getting rallied. I forgot I had recorded this clip. I think this is Peace rallying someone with Tariq ibn Ziyad and Pakal. I don't know why this person was off territory. Oh, yes, I do. They random ported. Man, let me tell you, Kingsland is so small. That's why I included this. Kingsland is so freaking small in King of the Nile. You can basically random port and almost guarantee you'll get to where you want to go because there's just not that much open space once people have already ported in. So any remaining open space is probably where you'll end up with a random port. And there's just not going to be that much of it. So you might end up where you wanted, and they wanted to go there. Anyways, here somebody's getting swarmed. I think they might have been kicked out of the alliance unintentionally, which is a little awkward, but I think it's a farm with under 100 million KP, but it's still kind of awkward that this, 35 mil power city over here is getting swarmed. Whoopsies, GG. But I wanted to include that in the video because, it's chaos, and this video is about chaos, and it's about to get really chaotic when wardaddy Chad gets rallied. And let me prep you for what you're about to see, because Chadski over here is on his alt account. Chat, this is an alt. It started KVK at 100 million power. He trained, I want to say he trained up maybe to even 120 million power, maybe more. I could be misremembering on his alt. And his alt has really good garrisons, by the way. He's got Flavius, and he's also going to mess around with Skippy and Sargon, and of course, he's also got Hera. So here comes the rally, and I think this first go-round is going to be the Flavius with Skippy combo in order to sort of maximize his damage output and maybe catch a few people with the Skippy. Plus, Skippy has a damage over time effect, which can trigger Flavius's silence. So there's the damage over time. That means that the rally would have been silenced briefly. Granted, that happened a little early, but that's the sort of synergy that you're going for there. It's just really, really big skill damage. And also the addition of the AoE. Let me tell you, man, you just get people when you use AoE damage. You just do. There was a point at which the developers were considering removing dead troops for people who get hit by AoE, because so Chadski just switched his garrison, right? That person thought they were safe because they saw they were standing out of the range of the AoE, and Chadski's like, all right, we put on the Hera, man. And that dude got a little bit dunked by AoE damage, taking full deaths. I mean, he got trolled, right? That was not an accident that Chadski switching his garrison around. It is 100% to getcha. And he got him. And people used to do this all the time with Esong. So, of course, you can expect it with Hera. And you should still expect that with Esong, by the way. This is how you know I'm, been playing the game for too long. Or for a really long time, I should say. But back in the day, you used to do this all the time with Esong. You'd not use him. People would think they're safe. They gather around your city. And then you switch to Esong secondary. And then everybody gets hit with AoE. It's a very standard tactic. All right, so here the rally concludes. I'm going to have the report for you in just a second. Let's see kind of how that went. If I remember correctly, I think the rally actually did pretty admirably overall. And here we go, the report. By the way, I freaking love, that was the wrong report apparently. I love the battle summary. The battle summary is so cool. Maybe that was the right report. That's just the rally, and that's a different rally. Shoot. That is Atarik ibn Ziyad and Pakal, and the trade looked fine, but I don't know if I actually have the right report here. That's definitely awkward, but don't worry, I have more reports and footage. Here's the next one, and I definitely have the report of this one. Here we go. It was definitely a hectic night, chat. It was really, really hectic. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, do me a favor, throw a like on here. Consider subscribing to the channel. The reason it was hectic is that I had a pass opening for Call of Dragons and also this Kingsland going on. And basically, as soon as I saw that Kingsland was looking like we weren't going to win, and I had my pass opening in Call of Dragons, I was like, I need to attend to this pass opening. And then once I saw in the pass opening for Call of Dragons that all right, we got a lot of flags to build before we actually have the real fighting, I switched back to doing more Rise of Kingdoms for the rest of the evening, even though I wasn't streaming it. Although at that point, the sort of conclusion I had arrived at, we're really in trouble for Kingsland here, was already well on its way to being sort of the reality. And I feel pretty good about my Kingsland. I was 22nd for the kill event, the enemy elimination event, during the, Kingsland fighting. Chadski, by the way, is number 1 on the board, which I imagine in part is because he's just kind of clapping cheeks over here with this AoE and kind of wrecking people in these rallies and trading really positively, or just in the very least getting a lot of kills, right? And also, I think he does trade really positively. We'll look at these reports in a second. Here's where they start swarming. But also, I think even after the Kingsland festivities had really officially concluded, even after being away for multiple hours, I was still 55th. I mean, I feel like for being a VIP 17 player, which, by the way, I spent 300,000 gems to jump up to VIP 17, and I think it was worth it. Look, when you have a fight, you got to spend what you have in order to do the best you can in the fight. And I have absolutely no regrets about gemming into VIP 17 for the 5% all damage. I had a lot of gems because I have been waiting for us to be able to gem armaments. It didn't happen. So instead of spending those gems on armaments to maybe get 5% all damage worth of value for our 5 marches, I just put it into VIP. And I feel like probably, I run 5 marches. That's 25% all damage. That's probably better than what I would have got if I went in and tried to gem armament sometime down the road and get better ones. But I don't know where gemming armaments is. I hope it comes soon. I still have some gems. Okay, anyways, let's get a look at this report. It'll get shared in just a second. Chadski was going to, I think, switch alliances and then stay on this territory, but I think he ultimately bubbled and pieced out. And then, boom, 37,000 dead to 500,000 plus. And if we look through here, it's 25,000 dead to 275 in the rally. And he did use Sargon at the start just to play around. Pretty much almost all of Sargon's skills are fully relevant, and it's a ton of single target damage, which is why that's kind of an interesting idea. So 37,000 to the 500,000 is pretty good, but let's jump in-game and look at some more reports. Okay, a few more reports from when I was reinforcing Mori's city. We're looking at 27,000 dead to 374,000 dead, plus 169,000 in the hospital. Jan Ziska Hera does work, man. It's an Attila Nevsky rally from fame. From there, we got a Tariq ibn Ziyad and Pakal rallying in. 28,000 dead for the garrison and 426,000 dead for the ralliers. Remember, the reinforcers do take dead troops. So these are not Mori's dead troops. They are the reinforcers. And that's 269,000 in the hospital. In case you're wondering about reinforcements, yes, there are many of them. Stuff him full of troops, man. Okay. And I'm in there as well. I got the report. Where are my troops? What did I send? Oh, yeah, baby. Some siege and some archers, because I know that archers are going to be good, but I haven't been able to get rid of archers for 3 or 4 KVKs, and I have too many of them. So I'm just getting rid of my archers here and my siege. From here, another one, 56,000 dead for Mori, 925,000 dead for the rally. I think they ran that into the ground. That's an Alex Nevsky with Joan of Arc, 521,000 in the hospital here. And that is a pretty brutal trade. Then Mori gets rallied again. I told you, it just gets weird once people, assume they've won. They just run it down. And again, I don't know how 1875 is going to lose the power they need to lose in order to get a migration, if they want to get one. 23,000 dead for the defenders, the reinforcers, and almost 300,000 dead for the rally. That's a Boudica Henry. 229,000 sevs as well. And then the last one that I personally attended was 24,000 dead for the garrison and 529,000 dead for the rally. That's 258,000 in the hospital. I suppose this is a moderate amount of hospital bill, but not really for Mori. Yeah, I mean, it's a couple full hospital clears in total, but I'm sure he's got resources, man. And in terms of my overall contribution, I mean, I'm down to 81.7 million power. I still have my field marches. It looks like they'll push into this pass probably, I think it's the 28th is when we have this pass become unsealed. So I would assume that they're going to push in and we'll have more opportunity to get rid of some troops, also potentially get rid of my field marches. It's just to help with, a migration in, assuming we're doing that. I have 2.3 million dead. I'd like to see that number go up more. But Kingsland, it's like I said, it's hard to get dead troops in this KVK, sort of. Kingsland was only like 7 hours before it was kind of decided. And my dead number's fine. But, you know, I'd like it to be a little bit higher, given that it's a 100 million power account. The weirdness is that, you know, under the assumption is that you have more field fighting to do, you don't want to start shredding your field marches so that you can't field your full marches if you still need to be doing a lot of fielding. And I still have a lot of resources, which is the other thing I like about this KVK format. Like, by the time the real fighting begins, I'm sitting at, you know, not max tack, but like Special Medicines 1 is maxed, reducing my healing cost by 15%. Special Medicines 2 is maxed, reducing my healing by another 25%. So it's super affordable to actually get, you know, some amount of KP. And in terms of the amount of KP that I got in this KVK, we're looking at 18.8 million KP. So about 15 million of that was in Kingsland, and 3 point some was from the sort of appetizer leading up to that, which is fine. I get the iconic crystals. Presumably, if we have a little bit more to do in the field, I'll bump that up to the 20 number, and then maybe I get 6 more gold heads, but like it's sort of an irrelevant amount of gold heads here. And then, yeah, okay, 5 epic crates. It wouldn't be bad to get. But by the time you account for all the resources it'll take to get these, and given that the KVK is already kind of over, I mean, maybe it's worth it, maybe it isn't. Plus, one of those takes 120,000 honor. I don't know if that will be achievable. So if you're looking forward to more KVK battling, consider subscribing to the channel. I think my main account has got a match found, and we're actually going to be able to fight in KVK, which should be really fun. If you're looking for some entertainment until my main account gets into KVK, then consider checking out 2 videos from Call of Dragons that you might be interested in. One is the pass opening. The other is the next morning of fighting, where it was just really crazy. The pass opening had some fighting, but the next morning had a ton. Check those videos out.